The vast expanse of space was silent, but it was far from empty. Hidden among the stars was the warship Dauntless, a beacon of human resilience. Captain Alex Reed, a seasoned and battle-hardened leader, stood on the bridge, scanning the endless void for any signs of trouble. "Captain, sensors are picking up an unidentified fleet approaching our sector," said Lieutenant Harris, his voice tense with concern. Alex's eyes narrowed. "Put it on the main screen." The main display flickered to life, showing a fleet of alien ships advancing towards them. These were the Draquilians, a race known for their strict codes of warfare. They believed in honor, rules, and codes that governed their every move. Humans, however, had no such constraints in the heat of battle. "We need to be ready for anything," Alex said, turning to his crew. "Prepare for combat. They may have rules, but we have our wits and our will to survive." As the Draquilian fleet closed in, Captain Tarlin of the Draquilian flagship sent a transmission. His reptilian features were stern and composed. "Humans, this is Captain Tarlin. You have encroached upon Draquilian space. Surrender now, and we will adhere to the rules of engagement." Alex replied, his voice steady and defiant. "We don't follow rules in war, Tarlin. We fight to win. If you want to test us, be prepared for the unexpected." The transmission ended abruptly, and the first shots were fired. The Draquilian ships advanced in a disciplined formation, but the humans fought back with an unpredictable ferocity. The Dauntless and its crew were determined to show that humanity's lack of rules made them formidable opponents. Lieutenant Harris barked orders. "Deploy the drones. Hit them from all sides." The battle raged on, with the Dauntless dodging and weaving through the Draquilian onslaught. Despite their well-organized tactics, the Draquilians found themselves overwhelmed by the sheer tenacity and resourcefulness of the human crew. As the first wave of Draquilian ships fell, Captain Tarlin watched in disbelief. "These humans fight like wild beasts," he muttered to himself. "They have no honor, no structure. How can they be winning?" On the Dauntless, Alex knew they had won the first round, but the war was far from over. "We've shown them what we're made of, but this is just the beginning," he said to his crew. "Prepare for the next wave. We're not backing down." The crew nodded, their spirits high despite the looming threat. They knew that in this war, their greatest strength was their ability to adapt and fight without constraints. As the Draquilians regrouped for another attack, the humans readied themselves for whatever came next, determined to prove that in war, sometimes the lack of rules was the greatest weapon of all. As the Dauntless crew celebrated their hard-fought victory, the Draquilian fleet was far from defeated. Captain Tarlin, now more cautious, devised a new strategy. He realized that to defeat the humans, they would need to think outside their rigid doctrines. Back on the Dauntless, Captain Reed convened a meeting with his top officers. "The Draquilians will be back, and they'll be smarter. We need to be prepared for anything," he said, his voice filled with determination. Lieutenant Harris suggested, "We should upgrade our defenses and find a way to disrupt their communications. They rely heavily on coordinated attacks." Alex nodded. "Good idea. Let's get to work. We need to stay one step ahead of them." Meanwhile, on the Draquilian flagship, Tarlin spoke with his strategists. "These humans are unpredictable. We must adapt our strategies to counter their chaos." One of the strategists, Commander Ralcor, proposed, "We should use their own tactics against them. We can create confusion and strike when they least expect it." Tarlin agreed. "Prepare the fleet. This time we will fight fire with fire." As the Draquilian fleet advanced once more, the Dauntless was ready. They had fortified their defenses and developed new tactics to counter the Draquilian strategies. The battle that followed was even fiercer than before, with both sides using every trick in their arsenal. The Dauntless crew fought bravely, but the Draquilians had learned from their mistakes. They adapted quickly, and the humans found themselves facing an enemy that was just as cunning and resourceful. In the heat of battle, Captain Reed ordered, "Launch the EMP drones. We need to disrupt their systems." The drones flew out, emitting powerful electromagnetic pulses that wreaked havoc on the Draquilian ship's electronics. The Draquilian formation began to falter, but they regrouped quickly, launching a counterattack that pushed the Dauntless to its limits. Despite the chaos, the human spirit remained unbroken. "We're not giving up," shouted Lieutenant Harris as he fired at the approaching enemy ships. Captain Reed, his eyes blazing with determination, added, "No matter what it takes, We'll show them that humans are not to be underestimated. The battle raged on, each side pushing the other to the brink. In the end, the Dauntless emerged victorious once again, but it was a hard-won victory. The Draquilians retreated, but the humans knew that the war was far from over. As the crew tended to their wounded and repaired the ship, Captain Reed addressed them. "We've won another battle, but we must remain vigilant. The Draquilians will be back, and we need to be ready. We fight not just for survival, but to show the universe that humans are a force to be reckoned with." The crew cheered, their resolve stronger than ever. They knew that the road ahead would be tough, but they were prepared to face any challenge. For they were humans, and in the chaos of war, they had found their greatest strength. With each battle, the Draquilian forces became more desperate. Captain Tarlin, frustrated by their inability to defeat the humans, called for reinforcements from their homeworld. The Draquilians sent their most advanced warships, hoping to crush the human resistance once and for all. On the Dauntless, Captain Reed and his crew prepared for the inevitable showdown. They knew that the next battle could determine the fate of their mission. "We've received intel that the Draquilians are bringing in their heavy hitters," Lieutenant Harris informed the captain. "We need to be ready for anything." Alex nodded. "We'll hit them with everything we've got. This is our chance to turn the tide." As the Draquilian reinforcements arrived, the tension on the Dauntless was palpable. The crew knew that this battle would be their toughest yet. The Draquilian flagship, a massive and heavily armed vessel, led the charge. Captain Tarlin sent a final message to the Dauntless. "Humans, this is your last chance. Surrender now, and we will spare your lives." Captain Reed responded with steely resolve. "We don't surrender. We fight for our future." The battle began with a ferocity unmatched by any previous engagement. The Dauntless and its crew fought bravely, using every tactic and trick they had learned. The Draquilian forces, though formidable, found themselves struggling against the relentless human assault. Lieutenant Harris coordinated the defense. "Heat firing. Don't let them breach our shields." The Draquilian flagship unleashed a devastating barrage, but the Dauntless held strong. Captain Reed ordered, "Target their command center. We need to take out their leadership." As the battle raged on, a small team of Dauntless soldiers boarded the Draquilian flagship. Their mission, to disable the ship's main weapons and disrupt their command structure. The team, led by Surgeon Jane Carter, fought their way through the Draquilian defenses. "We're almost there," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. When they reached the command center, they planted explosives and quickly retreated. The resulting explosion crippled the Draquilian flagship, sending shockwaves through their fleet. Back on the Dauntless, Captain Reed watched as the Draquilian formation began to collapse. "We've got them on the run. Press the attack." The Dauntless unleashed a final devastating assault, forcing the Draquilian fleet to retreat. The battle was won, but at a great cost. The Dauntless had taken heavy damage, and many brave souls had been lost. As the crew tended to the wounded and repaired the ship, Captain Reed addressed them once more. "We've won a great victory today, but the war is not over. We will honor those we've lost by continuing to fight with everything we have. We will show the universe that humans are not to be underestimated." The crew cheered, their spirits lifted by their hard-fought victory. They knew that the road ahead would be difficult, but they were prepared to face any challenge. For they were humans, and in the chaos of war, they had found their greatest strength. Despite their recent victories, the Dauntless and its crew knew that the Draquilians would return, and this time they would come with everything they had. Captain Reed and his officers worked tirelessly to prepare for the final showdown. "We've received reports that the Draquilians are amassing a massive fleet," Lieutenant Harris reported. "This could be their last-ditch effort to destroy us." Captain Reed nodded, his face set with determination. "We need to be ready. This is our chance to end this war once and for all." The Dauntless crew fortified their defenses and developed new strategies to counter the Draquilian onslaught. They knew that this battle would be the ultimate test of their resilience and ingenuity. As the Draquilian fleet approached, Captain Tarlin addressed his forces. "This is our final stand. We must crush the humans and restore our honor." The Draquilian fleet advanced with a terrifying ferocity, their ships bristling with weapons. The Dauntless, though outnumbered and outgunned, stood ready to face the oncoming storm. Captain Reed addressed his crew. "This is it, people. We fought long and hard for this moment. Let's show them what we're made of." The battle began with a thunderous exchange of fire. The Draquilian ships unleashed a relentless barrage, but the Dauntless held strong. The crew fought with unmatched determination, using every tactic and trick they had learned. Lieutenant Harris coordinated the defense. "Keep those shields up. Don't let them breach our defenses." The Draquilian forces, though formidable, found themselves struggling against the relentless human assault. Captain Reed ordered, "Target their command ships. We need to disrupt their chain of command." As the battle raged on, a small team of Dauntless soldiers boarded one of the Draquilian command ships. Their mission: to disable the ship's main weapons and take out its leadership. The team, led by Sergeant Jane Carter, fought their way through the Draquilian defenses. "We're almost there," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. When they reached the command center, they planted explosives and quickly retreated. The resulting explosion sent shockwaves through the Draquilian fleet, causing chaos and confusion. Back on the Dauntless, Captain Reed watched as the Draquilian formation began to collapse. "We've got them on the run. Press the attack." The Dauntless unleashed a final devastating assault, forcing the Draquilian fleet to retreat. The battle was won, but at a great cost. The Dauntless had taken heavy damage, and many brave souls had been lost. As the crew tended to the wounded and repaired the ship, Captain Reed addressed them once more. "We've won a great victory today, but the war is not over. We will honor those we've lost by continuing to fight with everything we have. We will show the universe that humans are not to be underestimated." The crew cheered, their spirits lifted by their hard-fought victory. They knew that the road ahead would be difficult, but they were prepared to face any challenge. For they were humans, and in the chaos of war, they had found their greatest strength. With the Draquilian fleet in retreat, the Dauntless and its crew had earned a much-needed respite. Captain Reed knew that the war was far from over, but he also knew that they had dealt a significant blow to their enemy. As the Dauntless limped back to human-controlled space, they received a transmission from the Draquilian High Command. It was a request for a ceasefire. Captain Tarlin, his face weary and worn, appeared on the screen. "Captain Reed, we have fought fiercely, but we now see the futility of this conflict. Let us negotiate a truce." Captain Reed considered the proposal. He knew that while they had won many battles, the cost had been high. Perhaps it was time to find a different path. "Very well, Tarlin. We will meet to discuss terms," Reed replied. "But know this, we will not be cowed or controlled. We fight for our future, and we will do whatever it takes to protect it." The negotiations were tense, but both sides recognized the need for peace. The Draquilians, respecting the humans' resilience and adaptability, agreed to withdraw from human space and cease hostilities. In return, the humans would assist in rebuilding efforts and work towards mutual understanding. As the Dauntless crew celebrated the end of the war, Captain Reed addressed them one final time. "We have faced great adversity and emerged victorious. We have shown the universe that humans are a force to be reckoned with. Now we have the chance to build a future where we are not defined by war, but by our ability to adapt and thrive." The crew cheered, their spirits lifted by the prospect of peace. They knew that the road ahead would be challenging, but they were ready to face it together. For they were humans, and in the chaos of war, they had found not only their greatest strength, but also the hope for a better future.